Hi guys, I am Michael DeVellis, and this is the Powder Group Conversations. We are with Julia Dalton Brush on a career in makeup. Good morning, Julia. I want to thank, as you know I always do, before we get started, thank our 6 sponsors for the Powder Group Conversations. Brands you and I love so much, and people we love so much: Skindinavia, Muse Beauty Pro, Senna Cosmetics, Beekman 1802, Cinema Secrets, and Omnia. We could not be doing this program for, let me remind you, 1 entire year these folks supported us on. And this way we get to share this amazing content with our community, talk to artists, talk to industry leaders, and understand what is making them tick now. How are they moving forward during this time? And talking about moving forward, we have a lot to talk about, Julia Dalton Brush, because you are one woman who did not sit still during the pandemic.
I don't think I've sat still since I was born, sir. So
I'm not going to argue with you. I don't think you did either. You've heard me do these interviews before, and for these career and makeup sessions, I'd love to start with a really simple question. And it's a silly one, I think, but what did you want to be when you grew up?
I really wanted to be a member of the New York Mets, obviously. Yeah. I 100% thought that I would be a New York Met. We went to spring training every year, my mom and I. I can name every member of at least the starting team of the 85, 86, 87 New York Mets.
That's amazing.
And then when I left that dream, I definitely thought I was going to be a Knick. Like, I'm talking like the Ewing Stark days, like the good days. Don't ask a question if you don't want the answer to it, Michael.
I don't know how I do none of that, but I'm so glad I asked that question. You know, one of my questions I asked later on, but I'll ask it now. So if you weren't a makeup artist and a brand person, what would you be doing? Would it be being in the Knicks or the Mets?
I would obviously be a retired professional baseball or a basketball player.
Listen, you know, one of the things you've taught me is dream big and just go for it.
What would I be? I would probably work in radio because I did a lot of work in radio back in the day.
Amazing.
I would probably be.
All right, so let's move forward past the 80s and past your sportsman days, sportswoman days. That was misogynistic of me. Your sportswoman days, and let's talk about how all those dreams, as young Julia, turned into makeup artist.
Yeah. I always love makeup. I have 2 very separate sides of my family. My mom's family is all soap and water, no makeup. If my mom had a big special event, I would know because she would have a lipstick on. That was a huge tell. My dad's side, on the other hand, is the polar opposite. They are full face makeup, you know, maybe a little snip and whatever. So they're not on here.
This will be on YouTube though.
All right. Well, if they don't fucking know that about themselves, then I don't know what to tell you. So I sort of landed in the middle, and I would just go and play in my grandmother's makeup constantly. She was a big Clinique lady. So, she had the gifts and all that, and I'd steal them from her and just play all day. But I think back in the 80s, especially, there was such a weird stigma attached to being a makeup artist or a hairdresser or something like that. You didn't really understand that it could be a huge profession. At least in my family, it was more of they thought of it as the Grease, beauty school dropout sort of thing. So if I ever even mentioned it, it was no, let's talk about something else. So it wasn't really a thing.
So how did it end up becoming a thing for you from this? Because, I think you just spoke energetically to a lot of our members of TPG Pro and a lot of people in our industry, right? You just said something which is really important. And I can say for me, I'm not really sure if my mom or my mother-in-law still know exactly it is what I do. It's very hard to define. But as a makeup artist, a lot of people deal with that. How did you get past that idea of this isn't a real job, this isn't a real career, into a point where you said, no, I'm going to do this. I like this.
I think, not to be a Debbie Downer or whatever. I think once my mom passed away when I was much younger, when I was 24, I think all my priorities changed really. I think more than anything, quality of life became the most important thing to me, and also not really giving a shit what other people thought. So I think in that, my mom passed away. I started immediately within 2 months. I launched my first business, which is a construction management company, which was obviously not makeup related at all. And I did that for many years. I restructured it. I did this, I did that with it. It was a great company. And then I got pregnant, and I no longer wanted to work 90, 100 hours a week and fight with a lot of really strong-willed men who did not necessarily enjoy having a female boss on site. It was, constant putting out fires, constant all that stuff. So it was really like, what do I love? What do I want my daughter to see me do and enjoy? And what would give me flexibility?
Wow. So what was your first job within makeup artistry, or the one where you started saying like, okay, I'm a makeup artist now?
I think when I started getting my clients and they started calling me back consistently, you know, I mean, you know me well enough that, I can't, unfortunately, and fortunately, I can't do anything without starting a business in my mind. It just doesn't work. It is a fucking pain in the ass, but it's not the worst thing in the world. That's why I don't have any hobbies. So I started Brush Beauty probably before it should have started, because I couldn't figure out how to be a makeup artist without making a business of it. And within the first year, for those that don't know, Brush Beauty is a small agency in New York. We have hair artists, makeup artists, nail artists, things like that. And within a year, I was needing to have Brush Beauty. I was having all these clients and I couldn't keep up with it. So I needed that. And that to me was something that was like, oh, okay, I've made it now. Like I'm, working with all these clients very consistently, Fila, and we had all the runway stuff for Tom Ford, and we were doing St. John. We had an amazing group of clients. And that, I think, was when I sat back and I was like, oh shit, okay. I did this.
Wow.
This is crazy.
First, I think, again, talk about, you keep saying things that resonate. I think, I think James and we have talked about this as well. Monetizing the things you love, right? That's what this is. Like we always say this, you speak as an educator, James, as I do. If you don't love this, get out. Like it's too hard a career to not love every minute of it. Finding that passion, finding that thing you heart, right? That thing that you love to do, you love being a part of, and then building something around it really resonates. I think that means a lot. I think also saying to yourself, well, and with Brush Beauty, saying, well, I need an umbrella. I need something to organize this under, right? So, because I've got all these pieces going. It's not just me now, I'm doing other big things. So that idea of, well, I could either go to an agency or I can start one. And what does Julia do? Given A or B?
I mean,
if A or B,
I work for someone else when you can work for yourself,
Exactly. Well, I think that's amazing. That when you said that, I thought to myself, wow, it's really funny. I always wanted to be a part of like a magazine. I love magazines. I love paper. And then I was like, oh, who's going to hire me? I'm like, wait, I don't need to get hired. I'll start a magazine. It's so impressive. We have artists, fine artists and painters in our group. We've got hairstylists. We've got so many people who can monetize their passion, but maybe don't feel like they're able to, or they're worthy of. How do you get past that self-doubt? And like for you to open an agency or run a business like that when you hadn't, what's your way of moving past that? I don't know if I can do this.
I can't think like that because it will absolutely stonewall me. I just, I think we need to trust our intuition. And when you do that, we all know if we come up with an idea and it's the fucking worst. And we all know if we come up with an idea and we're like, oh, this is it. Like what? And I think the main thing is that you need to surround yourself with supportive people. You need to surround yourself with people who will challenge you in a constructive way in the realm of what you want to do, right? So I have a group of incredibly close girlfriends, and if we put an idea out there, we're all giving, or any of us, we're all giving extra ideas. We're all giving, ways to make it better, or ways to make it this way, or just being like, holy shit, that is an incredible idea. Like, this is it for you. And I think a huge part of it is knowing yourself and really just surrounding yourself with the people that you should be surrounding yourself by.
You've built a lot of different phases and energies within the makeup artist industry within business, right? You've been a makeup artist who goes and does the job. You've been, run an agency where you hire other people. You have a product line. We'll talk about that. You're an educator. What about makeup as a medium or makeup artistry as a craft is it that you love?
Um, First of all, I love the people. I know that's not part of the craft, but to me it is. I'll never forget the first time I ever saw James speak. He said something to the effect of like, makeup artistry is 75% personality, 25% skill, or something to that effect. And it's so true. And I love that aspect of it. As far as the artistry, I love making people feel good. It doesn't matter who's in your chair, whether it's an A-list celebrity or a bride or whomever, they're going to be nervous as hell the second they sit down, especially if it's your first time working with them. They don't know you, they don't know your aesthetic, they don't know any of it. And it's really our job to calm them down, to make them feel good, to make them feel confident before you even touch their face, and that's something about the craft that I love. Just connecting, making sure that whoever I'm taking care of is really feeling taken care of and feeling amazing in that moment and throughout the day.
Yeah, I think one of the things we like to talk about is like what makes someone a good makeup artist. It sounds to me like you're saying there's a nurturing energy to you as an artist, and that we all know you're a server. We serve people. We are a provider of service. Aside from that, what do you think makes you a great makeup artist? Like, what would your clients say is great about Julia Dalton Brush?
I mean, I'm known for doing skin. That's what I get hired for, is making skin look like skin, mimicking skin to look like skin, just to make it look flawless and beautiful and perfect for whatever lighting. You have to learn your lighting for whatever lighting that you are working with. So I work with a lot of fitness clients, and a lot of people will be like, oh, fitness clients, you don't do anything. Well, no, in actuality, we are doing everything you're doing for an editorial. We're just making it for, a fitness brand. So again, it's really taking everything off their skin and adding that flush back in where it's supposed to be, and all of those types of things. So yeah, I get hired, and I love that. I get hired to just enhance people's natural beauty and make them look as gorgeous as they can, looking just like themselves, really.
Would you call that a signature style, or
I think I would. I know James would be real mad at me because I don't have it down pat, but like my actual, like, he'll be real mad, tagline. But yeah, I would definitely, that's 100% my signature style is my skin.
Well, I think, what's interesting is whenever someone's trying to find words and I'm helping someone with a speech or a public speaking thing, or coming up with how they're going to communicate, one of the things I say when they're trying to find the words is just tell me, and then we'll find the words in there. And you just told me your signature style. Yeah. So listen back to this, and then you can come up with that sentence.
Done.
He'll be happy with. Okay. Because you did. I think that is it. I think, we have to understand, and I think you're really exceptional at this, understanding which clients are for you and which clients are not yours. Which clients aren't meant to be. I think people get caught up in this idea of rejection, right? I'm not good enough because someone didn't want to hire me, whereas that's not it at all, is it?
No, you just need to know, like anything else in life, you need to know the niche that you fit into. And that doesn't mean that you can't learn and expand and all of that, but you certainly shouldn't be taking jobs that you're unqualified for.
Right.
Which I see all the time, unfortunately. I mean, in every realm of the world, but in this realm, especially in the makeup artist world, it's okay to say no. It's scary as shit when you first start, but like, You know what's scarier is being on set and being like, I can't handle this. This is not going to turn out well. And this is a complete reflection on who I am, my brand of myself, and all of that. So
Yeah. I think authenticity,
there's the word.
authenticity,
Yep.
and also a deep self-knowledge and a deep understanding of your what's real for you and what is good for you. I think it's hard though when we're coming out of a pandemic. Knock on wood. Hopefully, we stay out of the pandemic. Everyone keeps moving forward, and you're tempted to take those jobs. You're tempted to take those things, and it's hard to do. Let me ask you this: you've have had other people work on your behalf. You've had others who work, for Brush Beauty and do projects with you for shows, et cetera. What is it that you look for in an artist to partner with, to have work within your team, to represent you in some way? What are the qualities that you look for?
Um, First and foremost, it's important to me that they understand how to act on set. And I can tell that usually within, 10, 20 minutes of meeting somebody. It's important that they know how to act in different, I guess the best way to put it is like different climates on set, whether you're talking to the client, which, whether you're talking to the client, you're talking to other artists, you're talking to the talent, you really need to be able to feel out what you're doing and understand. You need to be able to understand a room and really, read a room and all of that. Next, obviously, I look at their artistry. I need to make sure that they are not only capable of doing the job at hand, but we get thrown all sorts of crazy stuff on set, and I've been on set and been told, oh, it's the most natural look ever. And then you get on there and the producer's idea of natural is, like not natural, so
J-Lo glow.
that so I really need to make sure that that they have enough experience to handle all of that. And I think experience is also key. And I don't mean, I do believe that there are some artists who just started that are exceptional at their craft. I just need to make sure that they're capable of handling the onset portion too.
Right. I think a lot of people feel like, and I don't know if I'm gonna get yelled at by somebody. I don't think it's laziness necessarily, but I think generationally, there's sometimes a perspective that, well, you owe it to me to teach me this. Like, well, if I'm going to be there to support you, teach me what I have to do. Teach me the way to do it. How do you balance that need sometimes now for people to kind of feel like they're getting the support that they need with the fact that you just need to hire someone who knows how to do the job?
I think that's the difference between assisting and being an artist on set. Truly, for me. If I bring an assistant on, and it depends on the job, I have very direct conversations with my clients when they ask me for an assistant. And it goes, especially in the last few years, the conversation goes, do you need a second artist or do you need an assistant? Because I refuse. My artists are the most important thing to me.
Right.
I refuse to bring on a second artist as an assistant when you really need a second artist, when you need someone to do 5 models by themselves or talent or hair or whatever. When you're on as an assistant, you need to pay attention. That's on the assistant. I'm happy to teach. There's some people, I see their names. There are 2 or 3 people here that like I mentor, and I love that. And I want to help and I want to do everything I can. But when you're on set, that's a time for you to pay attention. That's a time for you to learn by yourself. It is not my time. I'm hired to do something. It's certainly not, and I don't mean to sound rude by any means, but like that isn't the teaching moment.
Right.
You need to take it upon yourself to make it a teaching moment, but that's not my responsibility for you to learn while I'm being paid to do my job.
Which also gets back to taking on roles and jobs and responsibilities that you know how to handle. Like you said before about yourself, like the worst thing you could do is go on set and not be able to manage something. Well, the first and last time that you get brought in as an assistant or a second artist is the time you tell Julia Dalton Brush you can manage something and you're terrible at skin. Because if you're terrible at skin, let me just explain something. You don't need to contact Julia Dalton Brush to help her out. Um, so let's talk about this. You work on a lot of clean makeup stuff. You talked about sports, things, Fila, all these things. Sometimes people feel like that feels a little dull. Like, are there fun projects? Like, what is the most fun project you've done makeup wise? I know B3 is fun, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. But what's the most fun project that you worked on?
I just did the Uniqlo campaign like a week ago. That was
That was
super fun. That was amazing. I don't know, for me doing the fun stuff is, being able to like call up friends, which I haven't been able to do in forever, and do like a test, and like our minds come together and we just like fuck around. We're all together all day on set. It's just talent on talent on talent, like going in and really creating something amazing. And I feel like I did that years ago, shooting with like Pino Gomez, or like, there are certain people that like I've shot with that is just, you're inspired by every damn person that is in that room. And that energy is just incredible. And you are just feeding off each other. And there is truly, for me, there's nothing better than that in the world.
That's awesome. I want to talk a little bit about B3 because it is, to say it's iconic at this stage would be a little crazy, right? But it's iconic, but it is. It's like, it is this cult classic. I think part of that is it's incredible as a product line, but also we love Julia Dalton Brush and we love what she creates because she creates from an artist perspective. How did B3 come about?
I mean, as you know, I love skin, and I'm not a huge makeup wearer. We all know this. Like, I have mascara and a lip on. That's it. And sometimes it's a lip, that's pretty much all I do. And I love the all natural world of skincare, of life in general, like for me. So I think that I would have thought doing color is just, it's not something that I know enough about, first of all. I mean, I use it all the time, but it's just not something that was like exciting to me.
Okay.
And I loved the thought of, making people feel as good as they can in their skin, period. Like their natural, beautiful skin. And I also love the thought of being able to give a natural barrier between our makeup and our skin, being able to, because my kit isn't all natural. It'd be amazing if it were, but it's not at all. So just to know that I'm able to give myself, my clients, everyone like that extra like little nourishment in between was really important to me.
And how long ago did you start the brand and what was the first product?
3.5 years ago, and it was our matte lip balm.
Was it in the tub at the time?
It was
a little jar?
Yes, it was in a different tub, but it was still in a tub.
Okay. Awesome. I love that. I use it all the time. It's usually on my desk, and I looked for it before I started the session. I was like freaking out, like, where is it?
Brad stole it.
Brad may have very well have stolen it.
I doubt it, though.
Have to have a conversation about
too.
So now the line has expanded quite a bit from lip balm. You are really known for the oils, as far as I think. Like, everyone loves the oils. We incorporate those into our pro product kits that we do a couple times a year to our community. What makes the way that you work with those oils, the way you create a product, different from other oils?
I think when you go with a makeup artist brand, you're getting a whole other level of usage and of heart that's in a product that you might not get otherwise. I mean, look at like, Danessa, Eugenia, Melanie Mills, all these products are filling something that is so necessary, not only for the artist, but for the consumer as well. So I think that that's number one. Number two, everything I'm making is for a reason. And everything we source, every piece of the puzzle to us, James and I talk about this all the time, ingredients and sourcing and things like that. All of that is done so seriously, and it is so true to who we are, to make sure that every ingredient, every drop of what you're getting is as nourishing as possible. It's made with love. It's all these things that are really, the ethos of what B3 is about.
How do you decide that you need, and I know we can talk from a retailer perspective and a product company perspective, when you need to introduce new things, so there's interesting new things to buy, right? For new customers and for existing clients. But how, you said you're trying to fill a need. How do you decide where there's a need that's not met yet from your line for the makeup artist?
I mean, we're an artistry brand, right? So luckily I have an incredible, through the Powder Group, I have an incredible network of brilliant artists, and brilliant artists are from day one of artistry to 50 years into the game to me. So to be able to talk to artists and get feedback and really understand what's needed, and there are different needs all the time. Every artist has a different need. Every artist uses the Estrella or the lily in a different way, which to me is like the coolest thing in the world. I get videos of people using these in ways that I'm like, holy shit, I never would have thought to do this, So I really think just having these conversations is so important, and hearing the needs, and then, trying to fulfill them. We have a new product coming out in a few weeks, Michael. And and it's something that people have been asking for a really long time. And I think that that's really how, you have to listen. I gotta listen to my people.
Well, by the way, you can't just drop a little hint like that and not give us more information, but I'm going to give you permission not to share yet, because we're not doing our launch here, but I can't wait to hear more about it. I don't know anything about this, so I'm excited. Is there anybody that the line is not for, like from an oil standpoint? I know like the cleanser and things like that. Is there any skin type that people would avoid certain types of things?
The only person it's not for is if you wear head to toe water-based foundation every moment of every day of your life, and then you're SOL. But beside that, no, absolutely not.
Okay. First, I love SOL. That's just like the best thing ever. You also, because Julia can't leave well enough alone, decided, hey, you know what? I've got some extra time. I'm going to introduce some amazing skincare tools because it makes sense to go with my beautiful skincare. What made you decide, and what's the tool range? And then I mean, this is like the game changer, but here's the problem, right? I'm not technologically savvy. So for somebody who isn't technologically savvy, I would love you to, Tom, first of all, talk about the tools, how you introduce them. And then can you give me personally here live a tutorial on the different settings on this, because I get a lot of questions about that, because people know that we love B3 at the Powder Group. So why did you decide to make the investment in tools instead of just focusing on the products themselves?
Because tools enhance what you're giving them, right? I mean, you have these oils and they're incredible by themselves, but why not give something that can just give you even more out of what we're doing? And also it works, it works with a lot of other products, my fucking heart, and I love her so much, Eugenia uses our wand with her products. I know people who are using it with Beekman products. It really doesn't matter. It sort of gives, you can use it universally. So that's number one. Which one did we do first? I mean, the roller, which everyone knows. I feel like we don't need to go through that.
Yeah, that was an easy one.
Then we had our brush, which I do have right here. Our cleansing brush, which honestly is like my favorite thing in the world. This with our cream cleanser this changes, like if I wake up, possibly hungover, not that I ever drink, and I just look like death kicked me right in the mouth. I use this brush and I swear, what the fuck are you laughing at, Michael?
Just the visual of death kicking you in the mouth is
whatever. You've seen me that way.
You're beautiful always.
Always.
Yeah, that's a beautiful tool. That's a really nice tool.
This is game changing. And then I really started to do a lot of research into what I wanted to come out with for a tool, what I wanted as a person, and also, as a consumer, but also as a makeup artist, which is so important. And I started working with a company that had something like this. I made a lot of tweaks to it. There were a lot of things about it that needed to be changed, especially using it on set and things like that. So this wand does everything, really. It cleanses, it helps to penetrate your oil deeper than anything else that you can possibly imagine into your skin. It helps tighten. It has an eye care piece to it. So,
and there's 4 settings on it,
there's
right?
4 settings. So, there are days that I will like double cleanse, and then I will take my wand and I will put, this is the best, to me, this is the best part of the damn wand. Like, you put your cotton swab on. I feel like a lot of you guys already know this, but that's okay. You click this in, you put your Pomona facial toner, or like I said, listen, whatever facial toner you want to use, you turn it on, and you just really, it has a galvanic ionic pulses, and it draws everything out of your skin. When I tell you, like I said, I will double cleanse before this sometimes, and I go like this after, a day out in the city, grimy, disgusting, gross, the stuff that comes out of my face, even then, extraordinary. You're done with that. You pop this off, this little ring.
Yeah.
You throw this away. Bye. You put your oil on. You put this on phase 2. It's the photo rejuvenation phase. And the micro pulses really help penetrate that oil so much deeper in your skin than you would do by yourself. So that's phase 2. Phase 3, you can use with another oil. You can use with a face mask if you'd like. Face mask, I mean like a sheet mask.
Oh, okay.
And you can really go in, and that's the firming and lifting phase. So, you want to use your neck, you want to use it. And if you're using this on set, you are giving your clients such an incredible luxury experience. People love skincare tools. Clients lose their shit over skincare tools.
It's a thing now, especially since skincare became such a, obviously skincare is always amazing and always a big focus for real, I call them real women, and for makeup artist clients. But I think during the pandemic, because people weren't wearing a lot of makeup, they took that time for themselves and they had to have the self-care piece. So this is an amazing tool for a consumer as well as for a pro. Can you use this without any product on it? Does it have any benefit if with just the vibration or things like that?
You'd have no slip to the skin. So it would be like,
unless you're me and your skin's really oily anyway.
If your skin is really oily, please go buy a face oil and use it. It's a common misconception that if you have oily skin, you should.
I know that already. All right, so everybody needs this. It's amazing. And to your point, that now that people are sitting in chairs again and getting their makeup done again, anything you can add to that layer that makes people remember why they're hiring a makeup artist instead of just doing something themselves. That's really.
And also, you're not touching their skin as much, which is clutch. People don't want to be as touched as they were. So, you can put it on, you can put it on with a brush. And then instead of giving that amazing hand massage, you're really, you can use this.
I love that. You guys do a lot to support the community. You have a program called B3 Gives Back. I think I'm getting it right. Mm-hmm. Can you talk a little bit about that?
It's the most important part of B3 to me. There is no B3 without giving back. It's half the reason I started the company. I say it all the time. I part of the reason I started the company is to have a vehicle to give back to causes that I believe in, to give back to, pretty much anyone we can. In the beginning of the pandemic, we were sending out boxes upon boxes of boxes to different hospitals and doctors and frontline workers whose faces were completely torn apart from the masks, and just sending them anything that would relieve that whatsoever. We donate. You can look on our website to all the different causes that we donate to all the time, and also just artists. We're an artist brand. We really are, and nothing to me is better than to be able to support our artists in their passion, in their excitement, in their careers, and all of that. So I think just in general, you talk about like authenticity, but I think that's sort of like the base of what B3 is and what B3 does, is just being able to give back as much as possible, because that's what brings me joy.
Well, you bring us
a big nerd.
You bring us so much joy. Before I let you go, what's next for you? What's next for Julia? What's next for B3? I know you have a new product coming out in a few weeks you're not going to tell us about, but other than that, what's next? What's your next big thing?
I don't know. Maybe I was going to say something really obnoxious. I know you're shocked. That's a really good question, Michael. I'm not sure yet. I think just to keep this sort of upward trajectory going and trying to stay positive with everyone else and just do, travel a little bit more and if we can, and just keep B3 at the forefront and trying to do everything we can for everyone we want to. That was a fucking terrible answer, Michael.
It wasn't the best answer I've ever had for that question, but it was certainly an honest answer. No, listen, well, I know one thing that's going to be coming up, and that is an amazing new product launch in 3 weeks. And we're going to, is that going to be at the Houston, the Makeup Show?
Yeah.
Oh my God. So you guys got to check it out. If you're going to be in Houston at the Makeup Show, go and see Julia at B3.
Yes, we will be there. It'll be
and also because sadly the Powder Group will not be able to be in Houston. Julia will have copies of the 2020 issue of On Makeup Magazine and Spring 2021 at the B3 booth. So stop by, say hello to Julia, pick up all your necessaries, and grab a copy of the magazine if you don't have one, or even if you do have one, grab another one. Julia, I adore you. Where can people follow you on social media for those who are not following you, who are watching this later?
At B3 Balm and also at Julia Dalton Brush. I think Belinda's on here. If she is, she could maybe throw it in for us. But
throw it in there, girl. All right, amazing.
Michael, I love you.
I'm so excited, and I'm excited to see you. And also, just a quick note: Julia is, as I hinted at before we started the session, going to be teaching a hands-on 4-hour half-day workshop on building your business at the Artist Summit. So it's after the Artist Summit, the supplementary days. It's going to be on Thursday the 7th. That will all be launching later this week. Fingers crossed so I can get it all knocked out. But save those dates. And if you're booking your time in a Provincetown, be sure to stay through Friday if you can possibly, because that one in particular, that's going to be an amazing program. I'm excited for it.
Beauty business, baby.
I'm taking
Michael, I love you.
Awesome. Guys, thank you for being here. This has been Michael DeVellis for the Powder Group Conversations with the amazing and gorgeous Julia Dalton Brush. Thank you to our sponsors, as always, Skindinavia, Muse Beauty Pro, Senna Cosmetics, Cinema Secrets, Beekman 1802, and Omnia. Julia, thank you. Love you. Bye, everybody.
Love you guys. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks for being here, babe.
Always.
Bye, guys.